Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and welcome to the first episode of the brand new series here on Jets Media, where I will be breaking down each position group on the 2023 New York Jets. For these guys that's been on my channel for years now, this is an annual series I love launching around this time of year when OTAs is starting to ramp up, and we got a lot to talk about to preview the training camp. We got to see what the Jets did in the offseason. So today, we will be breaking down the New York Jets wide receivers, and I am really excited to break this down because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a lot of fun with these receivers. So before I dive deep into the position group of the wide receiver position, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We just hit 17,000 subscribers yesterday, so I want to thank each and every one of you guys for continuously supporting Jets Media. And if you guys want to see more content like this, do your boy a solid favor by simply hitting that thumbs up button and commenting down below your thoughts of the New York Jets wide receivers. With that being said, let's dive right into it. So here are all the receivers for the New York Jets heading into OTAs and training camp. As you can see, the top half of the wide receivers are the guys that I'm probably anticipating to make the 53-man roster. The people below them, like Irvin Charles, Dionte Spencer, and the undrafted rookies, those guys you got to keep an eye on for preseason, see if one of them can squeak onto the 53-man roster, making a case for themselves, or maybe on the practice squad. So here's the Jets wide receivers, man, and I think the Jets have done a great job this offseason adding new talent and bringing back talent and just adding more pieces to this team. So first and foremost, what we got to talk about is the Jets finally got a number one receiver, and his name is Garrett Wilson. We drafted that man number 10 overall. We all know what he did. The special rookie season of Garrett Wilson was something spectacular to watch. 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns with Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, Mike White throwing to him the offensive rookie of the year. Jets fans, soak it in. We finally have a number one receiver that we drafted ourselves. The Jets didn't have to trade for a number one receiver. We didn't have to sign a number one receiver. We drafted one, and he's only going into year number 2. He is going to be a sensational player with the New York Jets and the Nathaniel Hackett in the Nathaniel Hackett offense with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football. So having a prototypical number one receiver that can do it all is really important. Now, what Garrett Wilson brings to the table that I love the most is his intelligence and his IQ to be able to really set himself up. And I think that is what's going to take his game to another level, because what made Davante Adams so great, and the reason why I bring up Davante Adams, is because we have Aaron Rodgers, we have Nathaniel Hackett. When Aaron Rodgers had back-to-back MVPs, Davante Adams was his number one target. Garrett Wilson is going to be his number one target. And I think the main thing Garrett Wilson needs to, work on, not that it's an issue or anything, but that will take his game to another level, is his intelligence, is his ability to just master the game of football with his mind, his football IQ, understanding when defenses are trying to attack you, having that leverage and knowing what to, expecting the unexpected in a way. When there's a press man-to-man coverage, Garrett Wilson has to have that instinct of know exactly where to go. He has to have that repertoire with Aaron Rodgers where that chemistry is there, because we know the physical talent is off the charts with Garrett Wilson. His route running, his hands, his elusiveness, his yards after the catch, his ability to go up and get the 50-50 ball, his spectacular catch. I mean, all the intangibles is Garrett Wilson is a star. So what's going to take his game to another level is his IQ, and I think he has all of the traits to be the guy. Now, I'm predicting Garrett Wilson to lead the New York Jets in receptions and receiving yards. But I'm not expecting him, or should I say I'm not predicting him to lead the Jets in receiving touchdowns. The player I'm predicting to lead the New York Jets in receiving touchdowns this season is Allen Lazard. Number 10, the brand new player adding to the Jets offense. I'm excited for Allen Lazard. And the reason why I think Allen Lazard is going to lead this Jets team in receiving touchdowns is he's just an absolute red zone monster. He has a repertoire already with Aaron Rodgers. 6'5", go up and get the ball. And this is not a knock on Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson can get around 90-plus receptions, around 12, 13, 14 plus 100 yards if he has that type of season. But I think Allen Lazard is going to be Aaron Rodgers' go-to weapon in the red zone. And I think Allen Lazard has a chance to get 8+ touchdowns, could get 10 if he really clicks with this offense and stays healthy. Now, Allen Lazard, what he brings to this offense is something that we desperately need, and that's somebody to go get the ball at the 50-50 point. He's a versatile weapon that can also stretch the field. He is a big body, but he's also really good at going down the field and getting those deep balls, and we saw that throughout his entire career with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And the one thing that this Jets team just struggled with the most last year, we can't forget, folks, was the red zone. It was scoring points, getting in the end zone, not settling for three. And I think Allen Lazard is a player that knows the system already, has a connection with Aaron Rodgers. He is going to be a really big-time weapon for this New York Jets offense. Outside of just the red zone, he's still going to be a big-time weapon, on third down opportunities when Aaron Rodgers has to escape the pressure and find an open man. Allen Lazard will be there for him. So I'm really excited to see what Allen Lazard does in his first year with the New York Jets. He's in the prime of his career, got a 4-year contract. Welcome to the Jets, Allen Lazard. Now, Corey Davis. This is an interesting player because a lot of Jets fans were questioning it. Okay, is Corey Davis going to be on this team? Is he going to be included in the trade package for Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to get cut? The answer is no and no. Corey Davis is not going anywhere. And I think Corey Davis, in my opinion, is one of the most overhated players for no reason amongst Jets fans. I'm not sitting here and saying that Corey Davis is, the best player on this wide receiver room or anything, but I personally look at Corey Davis, and I think there's a lot more of good that he's shown as a Jet than bad. Obviously, I'm not saying that there hasn't been any bad plays. He's had some drops. He has some injury issues, but I feel like Jets fans need to start talking about Corey Davis's good qualities that he has because they only just harp on the bad qualities. What we saw last year from Corey Davis was my favorite quality that he has is clutch. That fourth quarter against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Zach Wilson's first start of the season, that was all Corey Davis. I mean, Corey Davis got every single catch on fourth down. You remember that game against the Minnesota Vikings, that crazy throw Mike White had on 4th and 10? That was to Corey Davis. Corey Davis is a perfect possession-style receiver who's a veteran, who I think will get a really good connection with Aaron Rodgers early, and we need veterans and depth on this Jets wide receiver room to have depth and versatility, and I really think that Corey Davis showed more good than bad when on the field. I know injuries is an issue, and I'm not saying he did not have some drop issues and some other, problems to his game, but I look at the positives and weigh with the negatives, and I think the positives outweigh the negatives based on what I saw from him on the field. And the best thing about this Corey Davis returning with this team is he's not number one, he's not number two. You can even argue he's not even number three. So Corey Davis still being on the team is big time, and I'm really happy he's staying on the squad for another year. Look out for potential contract restructure, just like the Jets did with Carl Lawson, if they want to free up some extra cash. Now, the next player who the Jets brought in free agency, and that is Mecole Hardman, number 6. This player has a lot of exciting qualities to his game that I cannot wait to see the New York Jets unleash with this offense. Now, Mecole Hardman, don't forget, was on the verge of breaking out with the Kansas City Chiefs last year before his injury. I mean, every time I felt like I watched a Chiefs game, Mecole Hardman was making plays, whether it was an end around, whether it was an explosive touchdown, yards out to the catch, kick return, punt return. Mecole Hardman brings a different element to this Jets wide receiver room that it desperately needs. Is a speedster. Garrett Wilson has speed, but it's not the speed like Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman is an explosive touchdown waiting to happen. You get him the ball in the open field on just a quick slant, he can bend around the corner and go down the sideline for an 80-yard touchdown. I mean, that's how talented he is. That's how fast he is as well. Not to mention, he's also a really good deep threat. And we have a quarterback now in Aaron Rodgers that knows how to stretch the field. So Mecole Hardman's so fast that he can just go on a go route and beat a corner and safety down the field just from speed alone. So this is a new element to this Jets offense. It really adds a different dimension of speed that is really, really beneficial for these New York Jets. I think he's going to have a really important role on this Jets team. Outside of just being a slot receiver and gadget receiver, I think the Jets are going to get him on the outside, use him more all over the field, and just use him as a freaking weapon, baby. Let's go. Cannot wait to see what he does. Now, Denzel Mims, he's another interesting player. He's entering the final year of his contract with the New York Jets. He has not had a career touchdown, which is crazy. We can all agree that Denzel Mims has been a disappointment for the New York Jets. There is no sugarcoating that. And I'm really curious to see if Denzel Mims can actually provide an impact with the first time of his Jets career with a quarterback. He has a quarterback at Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he's going to be a trade candidate because, remember, he did request a trade last year. If it's the same exact thing where he can feel in preseason that he's not going to have a role in this offense and he wants to be on a team that's going to be using him so he can make money in his free agency next year, maybe he requests a trade, maybe the Jets trade him. I don't know. But I still look at Denzel Mims, and he has all the physical traits that you're asking for. And I was actually talking about this with my buddy Jack. Allen Lazard is pretty much exactly what we were all hoping Denzel Mims would become when we drafted him. Remember, we drafted Denzel in the second round, and when we got him out of Baylor, we were all expecting him to be a really solid receiver for this team. Allen Lazard went undrafted, and he is the exact type of receiver that we were hopeful Denzel Mims would become, right? And that's not the case. So I don't really have a lot of faith in Denzel Mims just because of when he got his opportunity last year, he did not step up. But maybe with a new offensive scheme, maybe with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, Denzel Mims can finally break out if his opportunity does present himself. But again, it's really hard for me to put faith in that based on him not taking advantage of his opportunities. Randall Cobb is the final guy I want to talk about before we get into the bottom of the depth chart. Now, Randall Cobb is such an important piece of this wide receiver room, folks, because he is, and he said it himself, the Aaron Rodgers translator. We're talking about wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6 on this Jets team. He is the player to really put this whole offense together. He's going to be the clutch guy on third down in the red zone. He's going to be Aaron Rodgers' security blanket, and not only is it going to benefit this Jets team on the field, but off the field, in the locker room, in practice, during training camp. He is going to help out the guys like Garrett Wilson, like Corey Davis, like Mecole Hardman, like Denzel Mims, to help the offensive installment of Nathaniel Hackett, to get Garrett Wilson's mind prepared to get on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, Randall Cobb's impact with this Jets team is beyond football. It is the mind. It is installing a new offense. It's getting Aaron Rodgers comfortable. And I think the Randall Cobb signing was a no-brainer, and I'm expecting him to make an impact this year. I really am. I think he can get 350, 400 yards, maybe like 3 or 4 touchdowns as wide receiver 5. I take that any day of the week. So welcome to the Jets, Randall Cobb's great to see him rocking that number 18 like he usually does with Green Bay. And then all the other players, Irvin Charles is a guy to keep in mind. Maybe he can make a run in the preseason. He actually, a lot of Jets people in their organization are very high on Irvin Charles. Dionte Spencer has been with the Jets for a couple years. Malik Taylor was on the Green Bay Packers. And then we got all the undrafted free agents, Jason Brownlee, Xavier Gipson, TJ Luther. These guys are just players to keep in mind and keep an eye on heading into training camp, heading into preseason. These are the guys that are going to get the boatload of the reps and the snaps and seeing if anybody can make a run for maybe even making the 53-man roster or making the practice squad, because we need to have the deep wide receiver room this year just in case of injury. So let me know your thoughts, guys, of the New York Jets wide receiver room. I'm really excited about this receiver room, man. I think we got a prototypical number 1 receiver in Garrett Wilson. We got a guy in his prime adding to this team in Allen Lazard. Corey Davis is the seasoned vet. Mecole Hardman brings that speed element. Denzel Mims is still a young player trying to prove himself in this league. And Randall Cobb is that savvy veteran to put it all together. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, and comment down below a Statue of Liberty emoji if you stayed all the way until the end of this video. Stay tuned for the next position breakdown, which will be uploaded probably later on this week. I love you guys. Let's go Jets. Catch you next time. Peace.